How's it going? Can you hear me, Masha?
Hey, it's going great. I can hear you pretty well.
Awesome. I'm glad you're still alive and well. Welcome to Wrestle Tea.
I am glad to be here. Are you ready for the tea? Because I'm ready for the tea.
Oh, girl, I am ready for you to spill some tea. But before we begin, I just want to tell the audience, me and Masha go back quite a while. I remember seeing good old Annie Blue in Gleason's, and now it's just amazing to see how you've grown as a wrestler, as a person. I'm just really happy to see all the success that you're experiencing right now, especially being in Japan. How's that going?
Thank you, Sam. You know, it's been a long road since
Yes.
the Annie since the days of Skin Ripper, but I digress. It's
Yeah.
going it's going it's going pretty well out here, you know. Better than America, let me tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. Are you, so right now, I don't know if like fans have been following you on social media on exactly what you're going through in Japan. Why don't you tell us kind of what Japan is going through in lockdown and how that affects you, if it's even affecting you, and just how you're enjoying, being in Japan thus far, any of your favorite matches, stuff like that.
So basically, when all of this coronavirus stuff happened, in the beginning, up until maybe March 26th or so, there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really anything going on. We were still running our shows with live crowds and everything,
How many
and we were
people in the crowd usually?
over 100.
Oh, damn. Okay, cool.
100, like
Yeah.
a good amount, right? So we would be in venues like Yokohama, and we would be in Shinkiba First Ring, and we would fill out the whole building. So it was going great. The only thing we did though, we told people during intermission they couldn't like shake our hands, have any contact with the wrestlers. It was strongly suggested for everyone to wear a mask, and most people did. And we would just
Word.
kind of like spray the people down with like hand sanitizer, alcohol, or something like that at the door. So we'd be like, "Come in, give us your hands. All right, keep it moving."
Okay,
You
that's a good
know,
protocol.
none of us got sick, so everything was going well.
Word.
Um, at some point, probably March 26th, I
Mm-hmm.
want to say, they declared a state of emergency in Japan, which unfortunately led to the cancellation of all live shows and left whatever promotions were still running doing tapings with no audience, which we have just started doing 2 days ago on Sunday. You can see Marvelous streaming live every second and fourth week of the month on Fresh Live. But aside from that, we just continue to train at the dojo since it's literally 5 feet away from the house and the dojo there next door. So we're just training, and people have to go to the grocery store. People have to go continue upon their lives, and that's exactly what we've been doing. I've been going out on my off days sometimes to hang out, and this is about as normal as life is, unfortunately, without wrestling with audience.
And what are your plans? How do you feel about possibly having to stay in Japan for longer or coming back to the States? I know you were out there with another wrestler who chose to come back to the States. How do you feel? Stay or leave? Because I know you're all about the wrestling, Masha.
You already know. So originally what happened was, even before all this pandemic nonsense kicked off, I had actually been asked to stay, to continue to wrestle here,
Nice.
because I was scheduled to do a bunch of cool shows in the month of April. So, they offered for me to stay, and I accepted. And then that quickly turned into, there's no wrestling at home whatsoever. So the chances of me staying only exponentially rose. I think it's best that I stay here, and I'm only happy to stay here because I absolutely love Japan, and it's so, like, quality of life, quality of food, quality of people and social interactions. It's just so great here. I cannot praise Japan enough. There's absolutely no negatives I could say. So I'm just happy to stay here. I had my visa extended until July 25th. So I can be here up until then. I can leave if I want to, but I have no desire to leave as of right now.
Cool. So you're there until further notice, and you'll be where the wrestling is, right?
Yes, I will stay where the wrestling is.
I remember when we were talking a couple of weeks ago, you had said if I have to come back to the States and Mania Week gets canceled and all that, I'm out to Canada. But now even Canada, I think the US and Canada still have closed borders. So, yeah, I mean, by the time you get back, though, the borders will be open. So you'll be able to get there, too, if you want to. I know you'll be itching to.
Yeah,
Canada
I'm hearing that provinces are slowly opening back up or have at least plans to do so. You know, again, now we're coming up to the month of May. I was supposed to, from May 1st until May 17th, be wrestling shows across Canada. I was just going to be there for half the month, or like 3/4 of the month. And then I was going to fly out to Russia to wrestle there and see family. Yeah, I was due to go back to IWF Russia. And, you know, unfortunately, both Canada and Russia are off the table due to this coronavirus, damn it.
Yeah. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, right? And maybe there's a reason you're in Japan.
Absolutely. I believe everything happens for a reason. And even if we don't see, you know, the thought process of God now, then we will eventually, because regardless of the situation, he's going to be correct in whatever he plans for all of us.
And I know that you always kind of have faith in the process, and through that, I think your faith in yourself and your own personal spiritual faith, I think that's like kind of led you through wrestling in a really good way that other people don't always, like other people don't necessarily take the path that you've chosen. Other women don't necessarily take the path that you've chosen, I'd say. Like you hitchhike, correct? Like you have hitchhiked from place to place because you are not a wrestler with a car.
I am not. I have a permit, and I have taken buses. I have hitchhiked. I have ridden with people I don't know. I have stayed in houses that I don't know. You know, the stories of the road, we could be here for 3 hours, and I could tell you all the ridiculousness that has happened, but you do what you have to do for the things that you love, right? And like you said, staying here has been like a continuation of spiritual things and whatnot, and I definitely feel like mentally losing all those bookings, losing WrestleMania weekend, all of that stuff definitely took a toll on me for quite some time, and it drove me a little insane. You know how I can get. So, but throughout time, I have, if anything, fallen in love with wrestling more and appreciate wrestling so much more because I am still able to be here, to be in a ring every day, to lift weights, to do what I love, and to continue to hone my craft because you're never done learning no matter how long you've been in this business.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's those who take that attitude of like, I'm good, I've stopped learning, I've gotten to where I want to be. Those are the people that kind of plateau, and then, you know, people like you wind up surpassing them because you don't stop. And I respect that, girl. I do. Any plans in the future, though, to get a car when you get back to the States?
Yes, definitely, because let me tell you, it's quite a handful the things I have to do to get from show to show and this and that, and you know, at least I'll not have my permit. I'll graduate to a license. I could drive somebody else's car.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just get like a burner or something. That's what I'm trying to do. Like literally, as long as it drives, I'll get in it.
I don't give a damn as long as I get point A to point B and make my damn booking. If I got to ride to horseback, that would actually be cooler.
Oh my God, imagine you on horseback. You actually used to do like equestrian horseback riding, right? And you have a horse or horses in Russia?
I did, yes. And that horse is most likely deceased now because it has been so long. But yeah.
That's sad. Meh. But you're a lady of many athletic talents, for sure.
Yes. You know, all my life it was always sports because if I couldn't wrestle, then damn it, I was going to prepare to wrestle by staying in the best physical condition. And I knew that from a very young age. I started weightlifting at, 12 years old?
Swimming. You knew when you were 12 that this is what you wanted to do.
I knew before then, but it's when I got to middle school, we had a gym, like a weight room aside from our gymnasium, and during lunch, I would go into the weight room and I would weightlift. And after school, we had a weightlifting program, so I was in that as well.
Now, Masha, we're going to do a session, a little segment next called Throw It Back, Pay It Forward. This is how it goes, okay? I want you to name 3 wrestlers, trainers, people in the business that have influenced you and helped further your learning, your career, and that's throwing it back. And then paying it forward, I want you to mention 3 up-and-coming people in the industry that you feel like not a lot of people know about and they should know about because they're doing good things and you see good things in their future. So, throw it back.
Oh God, you should have told me to prepare for this because my memory is not great, Sam.
I'm putting you on the spot amidst all the concussions. Let's go.
The worst timing. All right, so throwing it back. Juan Jeremy, Charlie, the corner man, definitely the number 1 person out of my mouth anytime anybody asks, because he has been there helping me since day 1, since Annie Blue days, since 2014 up until when I started Indies in 2016. He's been there day in and day out. God, my memory is awful, Sam.
One more person, one more. Or someone maybe that you've had like a good match with, that like taught you when you were coming up. I don't know.
Well, for the second person, as I always say, and I will continue to say, is Johnny Rodz. Because let me tell you, I've heard so many people say, Johnny's crazy, Johnny's insane, whatever. If you listen to what that man says, he is never wrong. Because he prepared me for life in Japan, and everything he told me makes so much damn sense now. So glad I listened to all of that, because all the stories, all the wheel turning, all the if you don't know, yeah, all that stuff. I swear to God I remember, but all right, I got hit in the head. Like, okay.
It's okay, Ma. It's okay.
Yeah. But everything you said,
Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything you said is right. And another person, match-wise, would have to be JL Cotto, because we just recently got put on Facebook as the number 1 match in Warriors of Wrestling history, and had several matches in Warriors of Wrestling and East Coast Pro Wrestling, and we need to take this on the road, because if there's one person I want to beat the crap out of in the most way, it's her. We always have barn burners every time we're in the ring together.
Well, that's something to look forward to when you get back to the States. I'm sure that she wants to get out there and wrestle too, because I know she's in lockdown. I've been peeping that Instagram story.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of paying it forward, who are 3 wrestlers that you think a lot of people don't know about that they should know about?
For sure, I would have to list my tag partner, the other half of Bad Company, the Ultraviolet, because this girl has something special. When in January, right before I had left here, me and her had this lovely heart-to-heart, and I sent her on her way to Canada because, as you know, last year I did the Winter Death Tour, and it helped me grow as a wrestler and as a person exponentially. So I felt that she needed to experience that as well, and I sent her up. And unfortunately, as soon as she got back, this whole coronavirus shit happened. Yeah. So she's been on down, but I know and I believe that she has learned so much up there. And once all this is over, she's going to take the Indies by storm, and so is Bad Company.
Yeah. A tag team to look out for, right?
Absolutely. Another person, actually, who is actually one of the people who helped me get around to shows, because he's been lovely and accommodating to me, is the Oswald Project. That boy is the most flexible person I've ever seen. When I saw his match at at Limitless and Blitzkrieg. It was phenomenal. I can't speak highly enough of him, and good Lord, book the kid. He's out of a petri dish, and he is indestructible.
Yes,
So,
a test tube baby. Flexible test tube baby, according to Chikara's Action Arcade. Okay, and one more up-and-coming wrestler that you feel like everyone should know about.
This wrestler is not, I would not say that they are up-and-coming. It is actually a Japanese wrestler who I feel needs to get back to the United States as soon as possible. And that would be Takumi Iroha of Marvelous, because she is an absolutely phenomenal worker. And unfortunately, until Marvelous came to the States, I hadn't heard of her. And that is a shame, because she is a fantastic wrestler. She has the look of a star, and she needs to get to the United States. I actually had the pleasure of wrestling both her and Chigusa Nagayo at the last show. And
oh my gosh.
That was stellar.
Well, Masha, I think that we're going to wrap it up for today, because there is a 13-hour time difference, and you've been gracious enough to wait until I woke up early in the morning to Skype with me. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. I want to end with this question, because we are both New Yorkers, and I know that you love Japanese food, but girl, I know you want to get back here and eat some New York goodies. So, when you get back to New York City, what is the one thing that you are most excited to eat? Lockdown or no lockdown?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Well, thankfully, bodegas are always open, and they're literally keeping all of us alive right now, because they're just about the only food that's guaranteed to be open late at night. So you'll be able to get a bacon, egg, and cheese as soon as you get off the airplane. Just not in the airport. No. Ugh. All right. Well, Masha, it was great talking to you. I'm glad you're staying safe in Japan, because literally you've been in my thoughts, like in and out over the past couple of months. Like, oh my God, when is she going to be able to come back? But I'm glad you're safe and content where you are. And I can't wait to see you. Let's get a workout in when you're back.